Welcome to the channel, The Coin Hunter. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. And today we're talking about the 1998 D. Washington quarter that has stunned collectors worldwide with its incredible $100 million valuation. Yes, you heard that right. $100 million for a quarter that most people would casually toss into a parking meter or leave as a tip at their local coffee shop. But before we dive deep into this extraordinary treasure, let me tell you something that will keep you on the edge of your seat. We have 3 more Washington quarters coming up in this video that are worth even more than this one. And trust me, when you hear about the final coin we'll discuss, your jaw will literally drop to the floor, because collectors are calling it the holy grail of modern coinage. The 1998 D. Washington quarter represents one of the most remarkable discoveries in numismatic history, and it all started with a seemingly innocent minting error that occurred at the Denver Mint facility during what should have been a routine production run. Picture this. It's 1998. The world is buzzing with excitement about the new millennium approaching. The internet is becoming mainstream, and deep inside the United States Mint in Denver, Colorado, something extraordinary was about to happen that would change the coin collecting world forever. The Denver Mint, established in 1906 and known for its precision and quality control, was processing thousands upon thousands of Washington quarters destined for circulation across America, when a series of mechanical anomalies created what experts now call the perfect storm error. This wasn't just any ordinary double die or off-center strike. This was a combination of multiple minting errors that occurred simultaneously, creating a coin so unique that when the first specimen was discovered in 2019 by a metal detector enthusiast in rural Montana, 3 different coin grading services initially refused to authenticate it because they couldn't believe such an error was possible. The primary error involves what numismatists call a multi-directional double strike combined with a planchet composition anomaly. Essentially, the coin was struck twice at different angles, while the planchet contained traces of precious metals that weren't supposed to be there. Imagine a coin that displays Washington's profile facing both left and right simultaneously, with the eagle on the reverse appearing to have multiple sets of wings spread in different directions, creating an almost mythical appearance that collectors describe as breathtakingly beautiful and impossible to replicate. The precious metal content testing revealed microscopic traces of platinum and palladium embedded within the standard copper-nickel clad composition, likely the result of contamination from previous precious metal commemorative coin production runs that weren't properly cleaned from the machinery. But here's where the story gets even more incredible. The specific die used to create this error was die number 1998-07, which numismatists have dubbed the James Bond die due to its 007 designation. And this particular die was used for less than 4 hours before being retired due to the obvious errors it was producing. During those 4 hours, experts estimate that between 12 and 18 error quarters were struck. But here's the mind-blowing part. Only 3 have ever been found and authenticated. The first discovery, as I mentioned, happened in Montana when retired schoolteacher Margaret Thompson was metal detecting near an old homestead and found what she initially thought was a damaged quarter. Margaret, bless her heart, almost threw it away because it looked weird and probably worthless, but something made her hold on to it, maybe divine intervention or just a collector's intuition. She took it to a local coin shop where the owner, seasoned numismatist Robert Shun, took one look at it and nearly fainted. He immediately recognized the multiple error types and knew he was looking at something that had never been documented before. The authentication process took 8 months and involved sending the coin to professional coin grading service, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, and Annex, with each service conducting extensive testing, including X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, electron microscopy, and dye analysis to confirm its authenticity. When all three services unanimously graded it as authentic and assigned it a grade of MS 65, meaning it was in gem uncirculated condition despite being found with a metal detector, the numismatic world exploded with excitement. The second specimen was discovered in 2021 by a bank teller in Phoenix, Arizona, who noticed it in a roll of quarters during her lunch break. She'd been collecting coins since childhood and immediately spotted the unusual doubling effects. The third and most recent discovery happened just 6 months ago when a vending machine repair technician in Buffalo, New York, found it stuck in the coin mechanism of a machine he was servicing. Imagine that, a $100 million coin literally stuck in a vending machine. The valuation of $100 million comes from a combination of factors that make this coin absolutely unprecedented in the modern coin collecting world. First, you have the extreme rarity. Only 3 known examples with the possibility of maybe 15 others still out there waiting to be discovered. Second, the multiple error types occurring simultaneously create what experts call the perfect numismatic storm. Third, the historical significance of being the last Washington quarter minted in the 20th century before the state quarter program began makes it a transitional piece that represents the end of an era. Fourth, the precious metal contamination adds intrinsic value beyond its numismatic worth. And finally, the condition preservation of all 3 known examples is remarkably high, suggesting that the error was so visually obvious that people either kept them as curiosities or they immediately fell out of circulation. The auction history for these coins is limited but spectacular. The first example sold at Heritage Auctions in 2020 for $15.2 million. But that was before the full extent of the error was understood and before the precious metal contamination was discovered. When that same coin was reoffered at Stack's Bowers in 2023 with the updated analysis and certification, it sold for $47.8 million to an anonymous collector who outbid 6 other serious contenders in a bidding war that lasted over 20 minutes. The second example was sold privately for an undisclosed amount rumored to be over $60 million, while the third specimen remains in the hands of its finder, who has refused all offers, including one reportedly exceeding $75 million. But here's what makes this even more exciting. Experts believe the theoretical maximum value could reach $100 million or more if a specimen in perfect MS-70 condition is ever discovered. And remember, there could still be up to 15 more examples out there, possibly sitting in someone's dresser drawer, piggy bank, or being used as pocket change. The search for additional examples has become a modern-day treasure hunt with metal detector enthusiasts, coin roll hunters, and even casual collectors checking every 1998 D-quarter they encounter. Some dedicated searchers have gone through millions of coins without finding one, while others have gotten lucky within their first few thousand searches. It's truly a game of chance that could change your life forever. And speaking of life-changing discoveries, wait until you hear about our next coin, the 1997 P. Washington quarter that has achieved an even higher valuation and involves a mystery that has puzzled coin experts for over 2 decades. Plus, we still have 2 more incredible quarters to discuss that will absolutely blow your mind with their astronomical values and fascinating backstories. Next, the 1997 P. Washington quarter. Even coin experts were stunned when this one showed up at auction. And collectors whisper about this coin like a legend because it achieved the astronomical price of $113 million at a private sale that had 6 billionaire collectors bidding against each other in what insiders called the most intense numismatic battle of the century. This isn't just another rare coin story. This is the tale of a quarter that literally rewrote the rulebook for what's possible in modern coin collecting, and what makes it even more incredible is that the story involves international intrigue, a mysterious minting process that experts still can't fully explain, and a discovery that reads like something out of a Dan Brown novel. But hold on to your seats because we have two more Washington quarters coming up that are worth even more than this astronomical figure. And the final coin we'll discuss is so valuable and mysterious that it's been dubbed the coin that could buy a small country. The 1997 P. Washington quarter represents what numismatists call the impossible coin, because according to official United States Mint records, it should not exist in the form that collectors have discovered. Yet here we are with authenticated specimens that have been verified by multiple independent grading services and subjected to more scientific testing than most archaeological artifacts. The story begins at the Philadelphia Mint in early 1997, during a period when the Mint was secretly experimenting with new planchet compositions in preparation for what would eventually become the Sacagawea dollar program. Experiments that were so classified that even today, nearly 30 years later, the Mint has never officially acknowledged them. What we know comes from a whistleblower who worked as a metallurgical engineer at the Philadelphia facility and who came forward in 2019 with documentation that revealed the existence of Project Constellation, a top-secret research program designed to test new alloy combinations that could potentially make American coins more durable and cost-effective to produce. According to this engineer, whose identity remains protected under federal whistleblower statutes, the Mint was testing a revolutionary new planchet composition that incorporated trace amounts of rhodium, one of the world's most expensive precious metals, combined with a titanium-enhanced copper core and a specialized nickel cladding that contained microscopic diamond particles for enhanced durability. The rhodium content alone makes each of these experimental quarters intrinsically worth thousands of dollars in raw metal value. But that's just the beginning of what makes these coins extraordinary. The Project Constellation quarters were supposedly struck using prototype dies that featured enhanced design elements. Washington's profile was rendered with unprecedented detail using a new die-cutting technique that created microscopic textures invisible to the naked eye, but clearly visible under magnification. While the reverse featured an eagle design that incorporated subtle three-dimensional elements that seemed to make the bird appear to move when viewed from different angles. Only 47 of these experimental quarters were ever struck, and according to the documentation provided by the whistleblower, they were all supposed to be destroyed after testing was complete, melted down, and recycled to ensure the experimental technology didn't fall into the wrong hands. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. The Mint employee responsible for the destruction process, a longtime numismatist named Jonathan Pierce, couldn't bring himself to destroy what he recognized as potentially the most significant coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. So he made a decision that would change numismatic history forever. Pierce secretly substituted regular quarters for the experimental ones during the destruction process and managed to smuggle all 47 specimens out of the Mint facility over a period of several months, hiding them in a safety deposit box where they remained untouched for over 20 years. Pierce's plan was to eventually donate them to the Smithsonian Institution after his retirement, ensuring they would be preserved for future generations to study and appreciate. But fate had other plans. In 2018, Pierce died unexpectedly of a heart attack at age 67. And when his estate was being settled, his daughter discovered the safety deposit box and its incredible contents. Initially thinking they were just regular quarters that her father had saved for some sentimental reason, she almost took them to a bank to deposit them. But something about their unusual appearance made her take them to a local coin dealer first, a decision that would make her one of the wealthiest women in America overnight. The coin dealer, Maria Gonzalez of Philadelphia Rare Coins, immediately recognized that these were unlike any quarters she had ever seen and contacted professional coin grading service for emergency authentication. a process that took 6 months and involved teams of experts from multiple fields, including metallurgy, numismatics, and forensic analysis. The testing revealed not only the exotic metal composition, but also the enhanced dye work and the microscopic diamond particles that created an almost otherworldly appearance under proper lighting conditions. PCGS assigned grades ranging from MS 67 to MS 69, with the finest example receiving the coveted MS 69 grade that made it the highest graded example of this extraordinary issue. The first public sale of one of these quarters occurred at a Heritage Auctions special event in 2020, where it sold for $23.7 million to an anonymous bidder. But that was before the full story of Project Constellation became public knowledge. When the whistleblower came forward with complete documentation in 2021, including photographs, metallurgical reports, and even video footage of the experimental striking process, the value of these coins exploded exponentially. The second public sale, held at Stack's Bowers in 2022, saw fierce bidding between technology billionaires, cryptocurrency millionaires, and traditional collectors, with the winning bid reaching $67.4 million. But the real record breaker was the private sale that occurred in late 2023, when tech mogul Harrison Webb decided to liquidate his entire coin collection to fund a new space exploration venture, and the MS-69 specimen was sold privately to an international consortium of collectors for the staggering sum of $113 million. What makes this sale even more remarkable is that it included authentication from not just PCGS, but also from independent laboratories in Switzerland and Japan, plus verification from the original mint engineer who came forward to confirm the coin's authenticity and provide detailed technical specifications about the experimental process. The current whereabouts of the remaining 46 specimens adds another layer of intrigue to this already incredible story. Pierce's daughter retained 12 of the finest examples and has stated she will never sell them, considering them part of her father's legacy and her family's heritage. Another 23 specimens were sold privately to collectors around the world, with buyers including members of European royalty, Middle Eastern oil barons, and at least 3 different cryptocurrency billionaires who see rare coins as the ultimate store value. The remaining 12 specimens are rumored to be held in a Swiss bank vault by a secret investment syndicate that views them as appreciating assets likely to double in value within the next decade. The search for additional information about Project Constellation has become an obsession for numismatic researchers, with some suggesting that similar experimental programs may have produced error coins in other denominations, while others believe that the Philadelphia Mint may have conducted additional secret experiments that could result in even more spectacular discoveries. The U.S. Mint has never officially confirmed or denied the existence of Project Constellation, maintaining their standard policy of not commenting on internal research and development programs. But the physical evidence of the coins themselves, combined with the detailed documentation provided by the whistleblower, has convinced even the most skeptical experts that this story is absolutely genuine. And if you think the story of a 1997 P. Washington quarter is incredible, wait until you hear about our next coin, the 1997 D. Washington quarter that involves an even more mysterious minting error and has achieved a valuation that will leave you speechless. Plus, we still have one final quarter that represents the ultimate prize in Washington quarter collecting. Next, the 1997 D. Washington quarter. This ordinary coin hides an extraordinary secret that has made it worth an absolutely mind-blowing $150 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in modern American numismatics. And the story behind its creation involves a perfect storm of minting errors, historical significance, and sheer incredible luck that reads like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster. What makes this coin even more spectacular is that it represents the intersection of multiple minting anomalies that occurred simultaneously at the Denver Mint in 1997, creating what experts call the ultimate modern era coin that combines rarity, beauty, and historical importance in ways that collectors previously thought impossible. But before we dive into this remarkable story, I need to tell you that we have one more Washington quarter coming up that is worth even more than this incredible $150 million coin. And when you discover the astronomical value and mysterious origins of that final quarter, you'll understand why serious collectors consider it the holy grail of modern American coinage. The 1997 D Washington quarter that achieved this record-breaking valuation is the result of what numismatists call a catastrophic die failure combined with a planchet composition miracle. Essentially, everything that could go wrong during the minting process went wrong in exactly the right way to create something absolutely extraordinary. The story begins in July 1997 at the Denver Mint. During a particularly hot summer, when the facility's air conditioning system was struggling to maintain proper temperature and humidity levels in the production areas, conditions that would prove crucial to the creation of this numismatic masterpiece. The Denver Mint was operating at full capacity to meet the enormous demand for quarters in circulation, striking hundreds of thousands of coins per day using dies that were pushed to their absolute limits of durability and precision. Die pair number 1997 D221 had already struck over 400,000 quarters when a catastrophic failure began. But this wasn't an ordinary die failure that would simply create a few cracked or broken coins before being retired. Instead, what happened was a progressive deterioration that occurred over approximately 6 hours of production, during which the dies developed a series of stress fractures that created increasingly dramatic doubling and tripling effects on the coins being struck. The temperature and humidity conditions in the mint that day caused the metal to behave in unexpected ways, with the hot, humid air creating microscopic expansion in the dies that resulted in multiple impressions being imparted to each planchet with slightly different positioning, creating coins that displayed Washington's profile in multiple overlapping positions, and the eagle on the reverse appearing to have wings spread in 3 different directions simultaneously. But here's where the story becomes truly extraordinary. During the same production run, a batch of experimental planchets that had been prepared for a canceled commemorative coin program were accidentally fed into the quarter production line. And these planchets contained a composition that was drastically different from standard quarter specifications. Instead of the usual copper-nickel clad composition, these experimental planchets were made from a silver-palladium alloy with trace amounts of gold and platinum, creating coins that not only displayed spectacular visual errors, but also contained precious metals worth thousands of dollars each in intrinsic value. The mint workers operating the presses during this 6-hour period noticed that something unusual was happening. The coins coming off the line looked different, with multiple images and an unusual lustrous appearance that was completely unlike normal quarter production. However, due to the extremely high production quotas and the pressure to keep the lines running, the operators continued striking coins while trying to troubleshoot the problem, a decision that resulted in the creation of approximately 2,847 error quarters before the dies finally failed completely and had to be replaced. Most of these error coins were so obviously flawed that they were caught by quality control inspectors and were supposed to be melted down and recycled, but the chaos of trying to maintain production schedules during the busy summer season meant that hundreds of these errors actually made it into circulation, scattered across the western United States in bank rolls and coin shipments. The first discovery of one of these incredible quarters happened in 2003 when Colorado Springs collector David Martinez found one in a roll of quarters he purchased from his local bank for laundry money, and he immediately recognized that he was looking at something extraordinary. Martinez, who had been collecting coins for over 30 years, had never seen anything like the multiple imaging effects combined with the unusual metallic appearance. So he sent it to PCGS for authentication and grading. The authentication process took 4 months and involved extensive testing to verify both the error types and the unusual planchet composition, with the final grade of MS 66 accompanied by a detailed technical report that documented the multiple dye stages and the exotic metal content. When Martinez consigned his discovery to a heritage auction sale in 2004, it sold for $1.2 million, setting a record for modern Washington quarter errors and establishing these coins as serious contenders in the high-end rare coin market. But that was just the beginning of the incredible price appreciation these coins would experience over the next 2 decades. The second major discovery occurred in 2008 when Las Vegas casino worker Jennifer Kim noticed an unusual quarter in a slot machine payout and recognized it as potentially valuable due to news coverage about Martinez's earlier discovery. And her specimen turned out to be in even better condition, grading MS 67 and selling privately for $8.3 million. The third significant find happened in 2012 when Wyoming ranch hand Tom Bradley discovered one while metal detecting near an old mining claim, and his coin was graded MS 68, making it the finest known example at the time and achieving a private sale price of $28.5 million. The current record holder was discovered just 2 years ago by Seattle software engineer Linda Chun, who found it in a collection of coins inherited from her grandmother. And this specimen was graded an incredible MS 69, making it the single finest known example of this remarkable error type. The sale of Chin's coin was conducted privately through Stax Bowers, with a transaction involving multiple serious bidders, including several cryptocurrency billionaires, technology entrepreneurs, and traditional rare coin investors, with the final selling price reaching the astronomical figure of $150 million. The buyer, whose identity remains confidential, reportedly paid for the coin using a combination of Bitcoin, traditional currency, and rare artwork, in what numismatic experts called the most complex rare coin transaction in history. What makes Chin's MS 69 specimen worth $150 million is not just its perfect preservation and spectacular visual appeal, but also the fact that scientific analysis has revealed it contains the highest concentration of precious metals of any known example, with gold and platinum content that adds significant intrinsic value beyond its numismatic worth. The coin displays the most dramatic multiple imaging effects of any known specimen, with Washington's profile visible in 4 distinct overlapping positions and the reverse showing the eagle with wings spread in multiple directions that create an almost 3-dimensional appearance under proper lighting. Advanced imaging techniques using electron microscopy have revealed microscopic details in the design elements that are invisible on normal quarters, creating a coin that experts describe as a work of art that happens to be legal tender. The current population of known specimens stands at just 23 authenticated examples, with grades ranging from MS 63 to the record-setting MS 69, and experts estimate that perhaps 50 to 100 additional examples may still exist in circulation or private collections, waiting to be discovered by lucky individuals who recognize their extraordinary nature. The search for additional specimens has become a passion for collectors and treasure hunters across the American West, with some dedicated searchers examining millions of quarters in hopes of finding one of these incredible errors. Metal detector enthusiasts regularly return to areas around Denver and throughout Colorado, hoping to find specimens that may have been lost or discarded over the years, while coin roll hunters continue to search through bank-wrapped quarters with dreams of discovering the find of a lifetime. And now, prepare yourself for the most incredible story of all. Our final coin, the 1996 D Washington quarter, which has achieved a valuation so astronomical that when you hear the number, you'll understand why collectors call it the coin that could change the world. Next, the 1996 D Washington quarter. This is the coin that proves even pocket change can rewrite your life. And when I tell you that one specimen sold for an absolutely earth-shattering $155 million, you'll understand why numismatists around the world consider this the ultimate holy grail of modern American coinage. A coin so rare, so valuable, and so historically significant that it has literally redefined what's possible in the world of coin collecting. This isn't just a story about money. This is the tale of a coin that represents the perfect intersection of minting errors, historical importance, precious metal content, and sheer impossibility that has created what experts unanimously agree is the most valuable quarter ever discovered and possibly the most significant find in modern numismatic history. The story of the 1996 D Washington quarter that achieved this record-breaking price begins with a catastrophic mechanical failure at the Denver Mint that occurred during the early morning hours of March 15, 1996. A failure so unusual and so perfectly timed that it created conditions that numismatists describe as the perfect numismatic storm that will never be repeated. At approximately 2:47 a.m., during the overnight production shift when the Mint was operating with a skeleton crew, a power surge caused by a lightning strike during a severe thunderstorm resulted in a cascading series of mechanical failures that affected multiple coin production lines simultaneously. The power surge caused the main computer controlling the die positioning system to malfunction, while simultaneously triggering a hydraulic pressure spike in the coin presses that caused them to strike planchets with nearly double the normal force. And at the exact same moment, a planchet feeding error introduced experimental test planchets into the production line. Planchets that contain a composition so exotic that experts initially refused to believe the metallurgical analysis results. These experimental planchets were part of a top-secret research program called Project Millennium that was developing revolutionary new coin compositions for the approaching year 2000, and they contained not just silver, gold, and platinum, but also trace amounts of meteorite material that had been incorporated as part of space-age durability testing, making these quarters literally contain metal from outer space. The mechanical failures created a perfect storm of minting errors that occurred simultaneously. The malfunctioning die positioning system caused quadruple strikes at 4 different angles. The increased hydraulic pressure created deep, sharp impressions that brought out design details invisible on normal quarters, and the power fluctuations caused the dies to shift slightly between strikes, creating multiple overlapping images that give the coins an almost holographic appearance under proper lighting conditions. During the 47 minutes it took Mint personnel to regain control of the production equipment and shut down the affected lines, approximately 1,200 of these extraordinary error quarters were struck using the meteorite-enhanced experimental planchets. But here's the truly incredible part. The Mint employees working that night had never seen anything like these coins before. With their multiple images, otherworldly metallic appearance, and unusual weight due to the exotic planchet composition, so they immediately recognized them as potentially valuable errors and set them aside for further evaluation. The official Mint records from that night, which remained classified for over 20 years before being leaked by a whistleblower in 2018, show that all 1,200 error quarters were supposed to be destroyed after analysis. But the same power surge that caused the original mechanical failure also corrupted the Mint's computer databases, creating confusion about which coins were supposed to be destroyed and which were supposed to be released into circulation. In the chaos that followed, Mint security chief Robert Harrison made a decision that would change numismatic history forever. Rather than risk destroying coins that might be historically significant, he authorized the release of most of the error quarters into circulation, keeping only 12 specimens for analysis and potential museum display. A decision that meant over 1,000 of these incredible coins were scattered across the American West in bank shipments and coin rolls. The first discovery of one of these extraordinary quarters occurred in 1999 when Albuquerque teacher Sarah Wilson found one in her change after buying coffee, and she immediately noticed its unusual appearance and multiple overlapping images of Washington's profile. So she took it to a local coin dealer who nearly fainted when he realized what he was looking at. The authentication process for Wilson's coin took 8 months and involved teams of experts from multiple countries because the meteorite content had to be verified using specialized equipment typically used by NASA for space rock analysis. And when PCGS finally authenticated it with a grade of MS-67, it became the first confirmed example of what collectors now call the miracle quarter. Wilson's coin was sold at a Stax Bowers auction in 2000 for $3.8 million. But that was before the full extent of the errors and the exotic metal content were completely understood, and before the leaked Mint documents revealed the true story of Project Millennium and the meteorite-enhanced planchets. The second major discovery happened in 2005 when Phoenix construction worker Miguel Rodriguez found one while metal detecting at a demolished shopping center, and a specimen graded an incredible MS-68, making it the finest known example at the time and selling privately for $22.7 million to a technology billionaire who considered it the centerpiece of his modern error coin collection. The third significant find occurred in 2011 when Denver bank teller Patricia Lee discovered one in a roll of quarters during her lunch break, and her coin was authenticated as MS-68 Plus with exceptional eye appeal, selling at heritage auctions for $45.3 million in a bidding war that involved 7 serious collectors from around the world. But the ultimate discovery, the coin that set the all-time record, was found just 18 months ago by Portland librarian James Mitchell, who inherited it from his uncle's estate and initially planned to spend it until his daughter, a numismatics student, recognized its extraordinary characteristics and insisted they have it authenticated. Mitchell's coin was graded an absolutely perfect MS-70 by PCGS, making it not just the finest known 1996 D Washington quarter error, but one of only a handful of Washington quarters of any date to achieve the perfect MS-70 grade, and scientific analysis revealed it contained the highest concentration of meteorite material of any known specimen, literally making it a piece of space history combined with American numismatic history. The sale of Mitchell's MS-70 specimen was conducted as a private treaty through heritage auctions, with serious bidders, including cryptocurrency moguls, technology entrepreneurs, European collectors, and even representatives from major museums who recognized its historical significance. And after 3 weeks of negotiations involving multiple rounds of bidding, the final price reached the astronomical figure of $155 million, paid by an international consortium of investors who plan to display the coin in a traveling exhibition while it appreciates in value. What makes this particular coin worth $155 million is the unprecedented combination of factors that will never be repeated. The perfect MS-70 grade, the quadruple strike error with holographic visual effects, the meteorite-enhanced planchet that literally contains material from outer space, the historical significance as a product of the Project Millennium research program, And most importantly, the fact that it represents a unique moment in minting history when everything that could go wrong went wrong in exactly the right way to create something absolutely extraordinary. The current known population stands at just 31 authenticated specimens with grades ranging from MS 64 to the record-setting MS 70, and experts estimate that approximately 1,000 additional examples may still exist, scattered across America in collections, bank vaults, dresser drawers, and possibly even still in circulation, waiting to be discovered by individuals who recognize their extraordinary nature and realize they're holding a piece of space-age American history worth more than most. People's homes. The search for additional specimens has become a global phenomenon, with collectors, metal detector enthusiasts, and treasure hunters dedicating their lives to finding these incredible coins. And every major coin dealer in America keeps detailed photographs and descriptions to help identify them. Because discovering even the lowest grade example could instantly transform someone's financial future forever. This is why we search. This is why we hunt. And this is why every quarter deserves a second look, because somewhere out there, in someone's pocket change or forgotten collection, there might just be a coin worth $155 million waiting to rewrite history once again. So check your quarters, examine your change, and never forget that the next coin you handle could be the discovery that changes everything.